Okay, so
I dropped the ball.
yeah, no feature topic, but
Yeah, I
we
can't.
do have a feature
Yeah.
topic. This topic is going actually. I really didn't want it, but they said go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, because
So I watched the video. Somebody sent me a video. I guess they wanted me to be very reactory to the video. So
Yeah.
in the video, I guess you said it was in Parma, right?
yeah, I believe I
did-
seen it. It was
Yeah,
it
yeah,
happened
but somebody
in
said
Parma.
it to me this morning, and it was a guy.
Parma, Ohio.
It was a guy that got pulled over by the police, right? Now in the video, you seen the video, right? And you seen the video, right?
Yeah.
You look like you want to fight me already, but but I watched the video in totality, right? Not saying that the police was not wrong. Not saying the police was not wrong, but I don't know if the police was wrong or not. Okay, the guy said, and of course, me looking at the video, the guy said that me getting pulled over for how my what's that called, my tents,
My tinted windows.
my tinted window is not probable cause. Yes, that is probable cause. If you Google and look it up, tinted windows is probable cause. The police just wanted to see his VIN. When you have tints, it's hard to see the VIN because the VIN is here and the VIN is on the door. Now, if a police wants to feel safe, right? Because you could grab whatever you want to grab. I feel like a lot of times we try to look at it like this is a black and a white man because that's how we so prone to look at it like that way because that's how life has become. If the police wants to feel safe, get out of the car so I can look at the VIN right here underneath the on
the door.
On the door. So let me let you get out. He said, "I'm not arresting you." The police said, "I'm not arresting you." What was really annoying me is his girlfriend kept talking. She kept talking. She kept talking, and she kept throwing out laws that don't exist. And she kept saying stuff. Everybody already unfollowed me on Instagram. So she overfollowed the thought ops. But she kept throwing out laws. She was not letting dudes speak. Every time he said something, she rebutted with something else that was not really concisive to the whole conversation. She was just throwing out stuff. So he ended up, he said, "Let me speak to your supervisor." Yeah, dude should have bought a supervisor, but in the situation, he's like, this is something really small. How I'd have felt it was something really small. A lot of times, we are taught the wrong way to react in situations. I don't know if it's because of pride. I don't know if it's because of to react with the police. I feel like a lot of times we're taught the wrong way to react with the police. If the police ever pulled me over because of my tent, I would have just got out of the car and just let them go ahead. Don't search my car, but look at my VIN.
Man, that's because you a sheep.
That's not a sheep.
That's what they gonna say.
No, it's just, dude. Do you know how many times I've been pulled over? I shouldn't even say that. I've been pulled over by police. I have never had I feel like sometimes we're and then I see like I remember my father was telling. I was trying to shout out to my dad, good father. But one time I had to get on him. I had to get on him one time. Because he was talking about my nephews and telling he was like, yeah, because you got to tell them to keep their hands on the dash when the police pull them over. And they got, no, you're not going to do all of that because if you look nervous, you're going to look like you doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times that's not, tell them, put license and registration.
It's hard not to look nervous though because when the police present themselves, especially to us, it's usually in like a dramatic or a problematic form. So like how can you already as soon as you see the lights behind you, your heart's racing.
Okay, I'm gonna say something because I feel like I'm talking too much and I'm gonna let y'all talk. A lot of times like all right,
Go ahead, man. Say it,
it's gonna sound like a sellout, but when the police pick me up, I'm never nervous because it's like because what they gonna catch me with? Speeding, like I know I'm gonna get a ticket. The only thing I'm nervous about is about how high my insurance about to be. But you want to know what? Back in the day, I used to be nervous with the police because I was always doing the wrong thing. I had the wrong things in my car. I had a little broken in my car, and and a lot of times I was drinking and driving. But today, when the police put me over, I'm never nervous. But go ahead, they already stopped watching the show, and we got half a views on this.
So you want me to go? You know, normally I don't play both sides of the fence. I'm gonna play both sides of the fence on this one today.
Here we go.
Because I agree with you to on one point or whatever. Because like I've been pulled over so many times by the police. Living in Akron, I've had a situation where I was being stalked by a police officer because he found out me and him was messing with the same chick. So he was constantly, but I got pulled over so many times. It was just like second nature. And so it's kind of the reverse, because back in the day when I lived in Akron, we used to talk all types of mess to the police or whatever, until now you see them on camera and they unaliving people and they getting away with it. And it's like, hold on, let's slow down a little bit. So I've been pulled over by the police on bogus situations. I remember, if you drive at Independence, right? Independence, it has the hill or whatever. I was going up the Independence Hill, and at the time, me and my son's mother, we was together, and it was cars passing me, and I had a brand new car. I had tinted windows, and the police officer pulled me over. And she was even shocked, like, why is he pulling you over? So he pulled me over, and he said I was speeding up the hill. And I said...
It's a hill.
Yeah, well, I told him, I said, hey, I was just going with the flow of traffic. I said, I wasn't even paying attention. I was going with the flow of traffic, whatever. But I know he saw the tinted windows. He wanted to see who was inside the car. But, like, with me, I have a CCW, so when they come to the car, I tell them, like, hey, look, I got a CCW. Sometimes... but I just let them know. Sometimes I might have... I've been pulled over with my gun and... Can I say gun? With my weapon in the vehicle, and I told the police officer, like, hey,
even worse.
And I told the police officer, I said, hey, it's in the lockbox over there. He just shined the light. He wasn't tripping and everything. So I haven't really had any pullover bad situation. Now, I have been beat up by the police, but it wasn't no pullover situation. But I can see how certain people can get nervous, but until you get to that point where you have to argue or go back and forth with them, I can understand that. But I'm just like, man, license, registration is right there and everything. I'm not,
I had one time argued with the police before, and I was arguing with a chick, and just left her house, and the police put me over, and I got into an argument with him. I was wrong, but it felt good because I got over what I was mad at her about. so it was just like, because he kept talking about where you coming from. I'm like, I told him none of your business. Just give me my ticket and let me go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm just trying to small talk. I was like, you're not a friend, so why would I try to small talk with you? I was like, why? When I left, I was like, why did I do that? but yeah, what's your feelings on the whole thing?
I think it was interesting. I do think it was a bit excessive. What was interesting to me the most, though, was the fact that he even got pulled over for the tinted windows, because I thought not too long ago they changed the stipulations on that with tinted windows. I got a newer car right now. Right now I drive a 22 Elantra, which is like really safe and adult version, but just my last car was that Charger.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I had the presidential tint on there.
Yeah.
Black as my pants. Never got pulled over. Never got pulled over. A lot of times I rode by the cops. Never got pulled over. I live in Willoughby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was interesting that he even got pulled over for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of probable cause? Or you just trying to create or stir up some shit? You know what I'm saying? As a cop. You know what I'm saying?
But how do we know?
And then he pull you, but we don't know. Neither one of us know. We're all speculators in the situation, right? We just watched that little snippet. We don't watch what took place before or after that video.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Too.
So, but for watching the snippet, though, yeah, you pulled him over for the tinted window, and the dude was like, well, why are you pulling me over? Like, he was just confused.
Come on.
Was he being difficult?
Yes.
Yeah, he was being difficult, but was he within his right to be kind of defensive and difficult? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Absolutely.
How?
I mean, I feel like you can ask a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel if you getting pulled over and you feel like,
okay, can I say this?
Hold on. I feel like if you feel like there wasn't a probable cause or whatever, I feel like you still are at a right to ask the police officer, like, why are you pulling me over? Because me personally, I don't know the laws, but I thought being pulled over for tint was like a secondary offense. I didn't know it was like a offense you could just get pulled over for your tint. I thought,
you
but maybe, but okay.
You can.
Okay. But I got 10 on my card.
I made sure to look it up.
Okay.
I made sure to look it up. But the thing, so I don't sound stupid if I'm talking about.
I thought they changed the stipulations on that law.
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT.
Like around COVID. I thought it was around COVID that they did that.
We're gonna look it up again, but I asked her. ChatGPT, she told me. But the thing about
the thing about ChatGPT, not to cut you off, and that's what I was saying earlier, I like Gemini better because some of the stuff that ChatGPT is faulty sometimes. They're not 100% right.
Gave me some bad information,
Yeah.
and then try to apologize. Oops, I dropped the ball.
Yeah, you didn't apologize.
But then they're gonna say I dropped the ball on.
I didn't check her a few times.
Yeah, ChatGPT have done that.
times.
Was like, I'm gonna find it because it keeps all your history. I'm gonna show it to y'all when we get done.
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT something because I can't remember exactly what it was, and it told me like, I dropped the ball on that one. I'm like, nah, but I think that a lot of watching the video, I felt like what created the situation was not the guy and the police. It was the girl. It was the girl, and she kept talking over the cop, and she kept saying stuff in the situation. And if I'm in a situation like that and a female's next to me, I just want to shut up. Like, just be quiet. Let me handle it because I'm a man. Why do I need you to handle it like you my mom or like you know what I'm saying? Like you have some type of domain over.
To record is one thing. That's cool. But
record.
But
she kept talking. She kept interrupting her, and every time he answered and he would answer something correctly, she reinforced it with something more. And I'm like, that don't even make sense. Like, she just kept talking. That was annoying. They live in Cleveland, which is crazy. They probably gonna find this video and somebody gonna send it to them.
It took place in Parma, bro. Like,
Parma is right up the street.
Yeah,
Parma's
like,
20 minutes away.
Racist though, racist area.
Oh, Parma is very racist. Like, Parma was known for being racist back in the day. Do you remember on The Real World?
So what's the real probable cause?
The real problem. But that is and once again, I understand that Parma is racist, but that is still feelings. We don't know for sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you're right.
You saying something?
No. I don't want them coming at me.
But I kind of don't care because I feel like a lot of times we're shown those things so we could get real emotional and so we could think unjustly about certain things, and so when real racist situations happen, we have people that look at it like, you see, they react like that to everything. You know what I'm saying? So I want it to count. Like, I want like racist situations to count. Just like, like the whole like when I don't mean to go back to this, but what year was that when Trump said?
No, I was just checking to make sure this wasn't in Parma.
What year was that when Trump said? What did Trump say? Trump said there are good people on both sides.
Oh, I don't know what year.
Yeah, but that was like
I have no idea.
That was definitely racist.
I'm trying to fast forward these three.
I think that was 2016.
I ain't even trying to look back. I'm trying to fast forward.
That was definitely That was definitely racist. Like, that was one of those situations where it's racist. But there are certain other situations that I'd be like, people do stuff, and I'm like, that ain't really racist. But you have right to your opinion. Yeah, but that's just
being right or wrong.
That's just being emotional. Like, you want to put me in an emotional state just so I could go out and march with you and tear up the neighborhood.
Oh, man.
Because I feel like a lot of times that's what happened. I'm not marching with the stuff that's going on with either. With the stuff.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on in California? Like, because people say to me that I'm not from America. Like, would you go march? I'm not a big marcher. Like I don't even like March. April's my month. But people like you. They're like, you from a foreign country. You're not gonna go march with? No. Like I don't know. Marches just seem like, I've seen a lot of people get killed marching. Like, people get shot.
Unalive.
I've seen a lot of people get unalive marching. Like, I'd rather just, maybe I'll write a letter or something. But go ahead. Were you saying anything?
Well, no, I kind of wrapped up what I was saying about the situation. I do agree with what you're saying. As far as the female, maybe if I was in that situation, I would have just said, "Baby, let me take care of this." You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something to that extent. Yeah, I can see that. I didn't have a problem with her recording though, because you got to document the shit.
That was great that she was recording.
Yeah, you got to document it for sure. So I don't have a problem with that. But it's just an unfortunate situation, man, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like they just be itching to make arrests because they got quotas to meet, or they got to pass out tickets to make quotas. So it turns into a numbers game.
Yeah.
And then all you know what's interesting? I heard this from somebody, or maybe I saw this on a documentary somewhere. When it comes to the quotas in the numbers game, and it's coming to the end of the shift, they'll pick the most frivolous reasons to pull people over, and they're cautious about who they pull over, right? Mm-hmm. Because pulling over the wrong person can have a blowback. If you pulled over teenage Johnny, white Johnny, who belongs to a rich family, whose families are probably a Republican family, they can circle back and that can have a negative impact on that cop. But if you pick on a black person who they typically assume doesn't have anybody to back them up like that, because they don't have that kind of moral support, and then, it makes it easier. It's racial profiling. You know what I'm saying? It's racial profiling.
The last 3 times I got pulled over by the police, they let me go. I feel like I'm getting old. I'm no longer a threat. And the last 3 were black cops. Yeah.
Hey man, all I gotta say is to wrap this up is just try to make it home safe. That's at the end of the day, just whatever you gotta do, just try to make it home safe.